Hello, I'm Jordan Roy-Byrne of the Daily Gold, and I'm here at the Metals Investor Forum in Vancouver, British Columbia. And right now I'm with Morgan Poliquin. He is the president and CEO of Almadex Minerals. And Morgan, as we get started, can you please tell us about the birth of Almadex and just the general points that you think people need to know right now?
Sure, great. Thank you for the opportunity. Well, Almadex is a spin-out out of Almaden Minerals. And Almaden came about through, it was taken public in 1986, so it's got a long history of prospecting and development. We found a deposit in Mexico called the Ixtaca deposit, and that's what Almaden is focused on now. And Almadex is all the exploration properties that came out of that roughly 30-year history, much of it in eastern Mexico. So we have a portfolio of about 20 projects, 20 royalties, and our focus right now is on our El Cobre copper gold porphyry system, where we have 2 drills spinning and made a discovery last year.
Tell us about this discovery and what you're going after now with the drills.
El Cobre is located very close to the Gulf Coast of Mexico. It's near a highway and a nuclear power plant and has excellent infrastructure. And it was originally part of our Caballo Blanco property, which we sold, and we retained this portion of that property as well as a royalty on Caballo Blanco. And the reason we retained it is because it has covers a cluster of porphyry systems, copper gold porphyry systems. And we're drilling one of those systems right now, the Norte zone, but we found multiple other zones on the property, about a 5 by 5 kilometer area of classic gold-rich copper porphyry mineralization. So we are moving towards understanding the Norte zone with 2 drills, but as I say, we've just found a new zone about 2 kilometers south where we have reported trench results, very significant gold-rich trench results, and we expect to be drilling that shortly as well.
And let's talk about the history of this project before when it was part of Almaden. Is there any important history as far as how you acquired it and anything in terms of that you'd like to share?
Sure, I'd be happy to. All of the work that we're doing in eastern Mexico and Almadex came out of a conceptual focused geologic research, and what we noticed is that this part of Mexico has these high potassium igneous rocks which can often host significant gold deposits, and on that basis we drove out to this area originally in 1995 was our first trip, and we found an alteration zone in the highway and we acquired the claims that were in the area. So it has a long history. We had multiple partners, and one of those partners, collectively those partners found 1 million ounces roughly, which is now in a company called Candelaria Mining, and they're they have a PEA and they're permitting that into a deposit. It's a heap leachable gold deposit. So the Caballo Blanco property is now separate from El Cobre. El Cobre is the copper gold rich portion of this system, we believe, and porphyry systems are exposed, whereas the Caballo Blanco property is the high level gold environment. So what I think it speaks to is that we're 60 kilometers north of the largest port in Mexico. There's a deep sea port, a nuclear power plant, power lines, gas lines, highways on the property. It speaks to the underexplored nature of this part of Mexico and the fact that these are brand new discoveries from scratch. So we feel that the work that we're doing on the ground is going to, this year with aggressive drilling, we're going to define this project very quickly.
Yeah, and I was going to ask you, what do you think you need to do with El Cobre in the next year or two to have the market take more notice, perhaps get a re-rating? Is there any details you can add?
Well, I think when you find a new zone of stockwork mineralization, we have trenches in this zone of 15 meters of 1.5 grams roughly that we've reported recently, and that's 2 kilometers south of where the exciting drill holes that have provided the market cap have come from. If we're able to pull good drill holes in this zone, very quickly we'll be talking about multiple zones on the property, which in fact are already there. The El Porvenir Zone, which is 1 kilometer east or so of this new zone, already has significant drilling in it. So the property represents a cluster of porphyry systems, which is very common in these gold-rich porphyry environments. And the idea that you can have multiple zones and multiple potential for deposits is very unique. Porphyry gold systems are very special. Gold, I believe, is 50% of the gold in the world comes from porphyry systems. And this one is 100 to 200 meters above sea level next to a deep sea port and a power plant. So the threshold for making an economic development decision is very low. So great exploration potential. The drill rig, I think, will be the truth teller here, but we're aggressively drilling and we have the budget to do so.
And Morgan, as we close, one last thing. Can you tell us about the capital structure of the company currently?
Sure. We've got about 48 million shares issued and outstanding, and we have about $5.5 million in cash in the company and working capital in the $8 million range. We drill for about a third of market rates. We feel at about $30 a meter, so we're in good stead to be able to tackle this project.
Okay, thanks for your time, Morgan.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.